Hmm. Everyone will get started in a few minutes. Just wait for more people to come in and then we'll get started. How's everyone today so far? So so for the final exam next week, there won't be a lecture, so this will be the last class. But for the final exam next week, it will be all day. Like it'll be open all day. And you can complete it anytime during the day. No lecture. You'll just have the time to complete the exam. It's gonna be 80 points, 30 multiple choice, 10 true or false, which are 2 marks each, and then 5 short answers. One that's 10 marks, for their 5 marks each. So, uh, so you'll have questions on determining government debt and budget. So if there's a government deficit of $200 million in the first year, a surplus of $100 million in the second year, a deficit of $80 million in the third year, what is the government debt at the end of the third year? So, based on that, what would be the debt after that? So you'd add the deficit of 200 million, which would be negative. Add the surplus, which is positive, and then add deficit, which is negative. And that would equal negative 180 million. So then they'd be in debt 180 million. And then here for 2, the government of a country budget lists the following projected revenues and outlays: 25 million in personal income taxes, 15 million in corporate income taxes, 5 million in indirect taxes, 2 million in investment income, 30 million in transfer payments, 12 million in government expenditure, 8 million in debt interest. So the country has a government budget surplus or deficit of how much money? So personal income taxes would be positive, corporate would be positive. Indirect taxes would be positive. 2 million would be positive because investment income. Transfer payments would be negative. Government expenditure would be negative. Debt interest would be negative. That would be negative. So they'd have 3 million in debt after this. They'd have a deficit of 3 million. And then a structural deficit is the budget deficit when the economy is at potential GDP. Cyclical deficit is the budget deficit during recession. Economies in a recession and the recessionary gap is large. Discretionary fiscal policy that might occur is higher government spending and lower taxes. Automatic fiscal policy that might occur is reduce tax revenue. Then monetary base comprises of, what does the monetary base comprise of? So cash in circulation and reserves. When does the Bank of Canada use open market purchase? They use up, so they use this to reduce the interest rate and put in money in the economy. They use an open market sale to increase the interest rate and take money away. They are doing this right now to reduce inflation. When the interest rate falls in the money market, the quantity of money demanded decreases and the quantity of money supplied increases. The objective of the Bank of Canada's monetary policy is to keep inflation at 2%. How can the Bank of Canada use the bank rate to regulate the overnight loans rate? So they can change the bank rate to regulate the overnight loans rate because they are in a 0.5% band. Between demand pull and cost push inflation. So demand pull inflation includes times when an increase in demand is so great that production can't go up, which typically results in higher prices. In short, cost push inflation is driven by supply costs, while demand pull inflation is driven by consumer demand, while both lead to higher prices costing consumers. Time lags in fiscal policy. Increase in government spending will take a while to be felt by the economy. The economy will not benefit until months after. Reductions in taxes may not be realized until the end of the year, end of the fiscal year, because taxes are collected in April. Not all the time. So economic resources and factors production. Um, so there's going to be questions. There might be questions on that. So factors of production, increase in price, therefore less can be produced. Economic resources such as land have limited supply and they will stay fixed because you can't make more land. Scenario: suppose you are the governor of the Bank of Canada and the economy is experiencing an 8% inflation rate, and employment is at the full employment level, the target interest rate is currently 4%. What change in the interest rate would you want to make? How would this change be implemented? What impact does these implementation actions have on the lending ability of the banking system, the real interest rate, investment spending, aggregate demand, inflation? So you want to increase target interest rate to bring down inflation. You will do this through an open market sale of government bonds. This will reduce the lending ability of the banking system, increase the real interest rate, reduce investment spending because there will be less borrowing to invest, reduce aggregate demand, and reduce inflation. So intermediate goods are used to create final goods. Opportunity cost is what the work that you aren't doing when you are working another job. For example, you could be working 40 hours a week as a cashier while making, let's say, making $50,000 a year, let's say, and then, but you could instead be working 40 hours a week as a real estate agent, making $500,000. The opportunity cost is the missed wages of working one job instead. Aggregate demands. So that's the sum of demand of the economy. Macroeconomic equilibrium when supply and demand are equal. So I'm gonna save this, and I'm gonna post it for everybody. So you'll have this. So these are a lot of topics in the exam. I recommend studying these. So I'll post them, then we'll get to our next Okay, I posted it for everybody under, so it will be under uh learning weekly learning documents. Yeah, that's where it's under. So let's get started on some more things that we can do. So I'm going to share my screen. So we're gonna do an exercise. It's just on the minimum wage. I'm just gonna bring it up. So oh wait, give me 1 second. So out of these jobs, which one would you pick? Like it's this is an exercise on paying expenses uh with a minimum wage job. What would you pick? Warehouse associate, $14 an hour, a waiter, $2.13 an hour and plus tips, or an office temp for $15 an hour. Okay, we'll try this. An Affordable Care Act requires you get health insurance, bronze plan, let's get. Then a place to live, $808 a month. So then your new apartment is too small for your stuff, red storage unit. Um, Stress levels through the roof these days. A friend cures your venting, offers you yeah, so I wouldn't light up. We'll say no. Um, your head is pounding and you're burning up, but you have to go to work in an hour. What do you do? I'd go anyway because um, I pay. Everyone is pitching in for a lottery pool. What do you want to do? Play. This isn't your lucky week. You're driving with your kid in the back seat, and your car slips on a slick stretch of road and slides into parked car, causing a big dent in the bumper to broken taillight. Um, so we only have $137 here. So uh, so have we just we're gonna go broke though, but so yeah, we only we only made it till day 8 because expenses pile up and we weren't able to make it beyond that. Uh, we so it's a good exercise if you want to try this game. I'll put in the chat. Feel free to try it. It's a good exercise on showing that expenses pile up and eventually like you'll run out of money. And also did a spreadsheet. I'll put this in the chat too. It's a good spreadsheet on showing that um, money money's tight. Like working on the minimum wage, it doesn't cover everything. So I'll show you what happens with working on the minimum wage. It just doesn't cover everything. Just going to So yeah, check this out. So if you work $15 an hour, 40 hours a week, 52 weeks of working, you'll make $31,200 per year. Then if you buy all these things, Xbox 360, cable and internet access, energy drinks, cell phone, used car, laptop, computer, and then you pay for rent, food and beverages, tax, electricity, transportation, clothing, and shoes. You'd only have $4,040 left over after paying all those expenses. And then if you paid for all these surprise things, which come up, a lot of surprises come up, like baby, speeding, buying a car, missing work, cutting your hours, oil prices spike, baby boy, cable bill, taxi, new clothes, more diapers, food, and then more rents,